Namo Namaha. Welcome to the second session on Ayurveda. Do you remember what we did in the first session? Yes?
About Agni.
Excellent. So what does the Agni do? It digests our food, right? So let's begin with the prayer first. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. So we pray to God that may all beings be content, may there be no illness, may everyone see auspicious sights, and may there be no suffering. So sarve santu niramayaha. So niramaya. So amaya is disease, and niramaya is no disease. So that's health. So may everyone be healthy. So I think last time we discussed about Agni. So let me ask you a question. What is the best time to eat? Kripali, can you answer? What's the best time to eat? Yes? Afternoon. What time? 12 o'clock? What about you? Morning. So is 12 o'clock not good enough? It's good? So if I say, should everyone eat at 12 o'clock? No. Then? Yes?
12:30.
12:30. Could it be 1 o'clock?
Yes.
Yes. So how will we know what is the best time to eat? So the best time to eat is what we learned last time. It depends on the Agni. Supposing at 12 o'clock you're not hungry, should you eat?
No.
No. If at 1 o'clock also you're not hungry, should you eat? So we have common meal times for everyone, because if everyone is healthy, they all feel hungry in the afternoon and they can eat. But if you're not healthy, if you don't have hunger at that time, you should not eat. Correct? So as you see on the diagram on the left side, there's a small tiny Agni. The Agni or the digestive fire keeps changing throughout the day, just like the sun. Do you see in the morning at dawn it's very mild. It's got a red color, and then slowly it becomes brighter, and then it becomes bright and yellow, and it's very bright in the afternoon. And then again it starts setting. So in the same way, our Agni, the fire inside, also changes throughout the day. So when the fire is strong, will the food digest when the fire is strong or when the fire is low?
When the fire is strong.
Yeah. So we have to eat at that time. So what is the marker that the fire is strong? How do you know that the fire is strong?
When we are hungry.
Very good. So when you're hungry, that means the fire is strong. So supposing you've eaten half an hour ago and you had a full meal, and now I bring some delicious cake or maybe gulab jamun. So will you eat it?
No.
Yes? No?
Yes. No.
Okay, some are saying yes, some are saying no. Should you eat it?
No.
No. So, and you might say, I'm feeling hungry. I feel a little bit of hunger. Maybe I can have one gulab jamun, right? So, then your belly, your abdomen, the belly should also feel very light. If you're truly hungry and you have digested your previous meal, then the belly should become light. So, like how if you cook in a pot, so you put some rice to cook and it cooks, and then what do? You remove all that rice, wash the pot, and then you cook another batch, right? So unless that is cooked and removed, you cannot put another batch. In the same way, the pot is the stomach. So we have the stomach, and the stomach should empty and the food should go in the small intestine. And so when it moves down into the small intestine, then you feel light. Then you feel it's empty inside. And that's the time you should eat. Can you tell me another indicator that you know for sure that you are hungry and that your Agni is strong and you will digest the food? Yeah, when you have sound in your stomach, that means it's empty. Can someone else check if I say I'm hungry and I need to give proof to you that yes, I am hungry and my fire is strong?
We can check with our nose.
Very good, excellent. You can check with your nostril. So can you explain that?
When our right side is open, then we are hungry.
Excellent. So this is a yogic concept. This is from the yoga philosophy. So we have two nadis, as you see here. So there is, you know what this is? That coiled snake-like thing going up. What is that? What is this?
Kundalini.
Very good, Kundalini. So and it pierces the chakra. So your answer was also correct. The Kundalini is piercing the chakra. So we have many nadis in the body. Nadis are like channels, right? But they are invisible. You can't cut the body and show the channel. But they are energy channels. So they are pathways in which the energy moves. So if you see, on the right side is the Pingala nadi. And on the left side, so you see that it's opposite because the person is facing you. So what is to your left is actually the person's right, isn't it? So to the right you have the Pingala nadi and to the left you have the Ida nadi. And as you see the sun and the moon, so is the sun to the right or the left?
Right.
Right. So the sun is on the right. So the Surya nadi, which is on the right, is obviously linked to our digestion. So if the Surya is bright, will your fire be bright or low? Bright, right? So when the Surya nadi, that is the Pingala nadi, on the right side is more open, that means your digestive fire is stronger as compared to the left nadi. So let's all check our nostrils. So take your right thumb, put it on your right nostril and breathe out through the left. Make a note of the flow. Then now close your left nostril and breathe out through the right nostril. And notice the flow. Which flow is stronger? Raise your hands if you feel the right nostril has more flow. For those of you, if the right nostril has more flow, raise your hands. So only, okay, and those of you who have left nostril is stronger, there's more flow on the left side, raise your hands. So, how many of you are hungry? So all the people whose right nostril was open are hungry. Are you hungry? And the ones who had the left nostril stronger, are you hungry? No. So this is a very good indicator. So if sometimes, you know, the mind can trick us, isn't it? The mind is playing games with us. No, I'm a little hungry, let me have one gulab jamun, a little bit of cake, even though you've eaten only half an hour ago. So you can check with your nostril. So only if your right nostril has more flow, it means that your Surya nadi is active and that your digestive fire is strong and that you will be able to digest the food. Sometimes what happens is that our left nostril is more active, but we look at food and we say, no, I want to eat. Then you know what is the solution for that? Can anyone guess?
We have to not see.
You do not see, yeah, that's good. You shouldn't see the food, but sometimes it actually happens that you're thirsty, right? You haven't had water since morning, so you're actually thirsty, and then it's lunchtime, and so then you end up eating food. So at that time, if the left nostril is strong, then you should just drink water and wait for at least half an hour and see if the right nostril becomes more active, and then you can eat later. Got it? Okay. So now we learned that if the fire is strong, it will digest the food, and once it digests the food, what will form? What is formed out of the digested food?
Muscles.
Very good, muscles and
Blood.
Very good. Bones, all our tissues, all the saptadhatus, the 7 tissues are formed from the digested food. But what if the fire is not strong and you ate just because you like to eat and there was no appetite, the fire was not strong, then what will happen to that food? Yes?
It will be
Yes, it will become toxic. See, if you have a fire here, like on the left, there's a pot and we are cooking. So if the fire is not adequate, it's a very tiny fire, so it will not cook. Usually rice should cook in say 30 to 40 minutes, but the rice doesn't cook. There's a candle underneath. So it doesn't cook 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Then many hours pass. Even after 20 hours, it hasn't cooked, right? Then what happens to it after 20 hours or 24 hours? Yeah, it starts rotting. It becomes bad. There's a foul odor, bad smell. And if you taste it, it becomes sour. And there's some bubbles of gas. So I did that experiment yesterday. I took some rice and I put it on a very low flame and it didn't cook. And so then it just sat there. And this is, if you can have a look. Does it have a sweet smell or a sour smell? Sour smell? Yes. It's not cooked. Can you see? It's not cooked properly. Yeah. So this is exactly what happens in our bodies when the fire is not there or it's very weak and we eat. It doesn't digest. It rots, and this is called fermentation. It produces acid and gas, and because of the acid, it becomes sour, and because of the gas, there are some bubbles. Have you all felt like when you feel gassy, the stomach just bloats up, it becomes filled, right? So let's see what it looks like. So just like you saw here, it became sour and there were some bubbles. So this is, can anyone guess what this is?
Intestine.
Very good. This is the large intestine. And so how come we are looking at the large intestine? It's inside.
It's a needle.
Needle. So there's a colonoscope. The large intestine is called the colon, and there is a scope, like you have a telescope. So there's a colonoscope, a scope with which you can see the colon or the large intestine. So it's put from the lower end, from the rectum. There's a long tube, and it's a long tube, and at the beginning of the tube here you have a camera. Okay, so it's put into the rectum and it goes inside, and it's connected to a big screen, a computer screen. So the doctor can see what is inside on the screen. So this is on the screen. So you see that this is normal. You see that it's moving. Can you see the movement?
Yes.
Because the intestine moves like this. It's digesting the food. It's called peristalsis. So you see a very healthy large intestine. Now this is the picture of a lady who's 35-year-old and she had headaches. Can you see this sticky substance?
Yes.
Because her food didn't digest. And so because of that, she had these headaches. And she didn't know that the headache was because of undigested food. And then this is another person, he's 49 years old and he was obese. Obese means he was fat and he had diabetes. And look at the worms. Can you see the worms that are moving?
Yes.
Yes? And so, whenever there is this undigested food, because it's toxic, it's rotten. You know, when you have something which rots, the worms come inside that. Have you seen? If something is clean, you don't get worms or any, bacteria. This is another lady who had asthma.
What is asthma?
Asthma is when you get a lot of cough and there's breathlessness, difficulty in breathing. Right? Like that. So that's asthma. And then you have to give the nebulizer. This is another lady who had cancer. Have you heard the word cancer? Can you see? She had chronic constipation. You know what's constipation? That is, she couldn't go to the toilet every day. It didn't come out. Another lady, that one was 45 years. Now this is 65-year-old. Just look at the amount of undigested food inside. So now, what was the common thing in all these people? I showed you so many. What was the common thing? What was the difference between the first one who was healthy and then all the people who had these diseases? One had asthma, one had diabetes, another one had allergy, one had headache, one had cancer. But what was the common thing? What was different from the healthy colon?
Healthy was clean.
Very good. So the healthy colon was clean, and all the people who had illness had some undigested food in their gut. And the undigested food, it doesn't sit in its original form. So did you see any gulab jamuns? Did you see any rice or dal, chapati? No? So it ferments in there and it forms a sticky substance which is in Ayurvedic language is called ama. What is it called? Ama. So this ama is the cause of disease. So now what are the signs of indigestion? How do you know your food is not digesting and you have ama? So what is digestion? What is digestion?
When our food is digested.
Yeah, when it is digested, that is digestion. And what is the opposite of that? Indigestion. That is when it is not digested properly. So what are the signs? How do you know that you have indigestion? So as we saw in this, there was you could see some gas bubbles and you could see there was a bad smell. So in the same way, the same thing is happening in our stomach, in the intestine. Because Agni is low, we ate when there was no Agni and it didn't get digested, or we overate. So there's gas. So because of gas, as you see in the first diagram, the stomach bloats up. It becomes very full. You feel like you've eaten so much, right? And it stays like that for many hours. The second one, as one of you said, you experience acidity. There's burning, right? Because there's acid formation. Then there is pain. That gas causes pain. Have you all experienced this? Acidity, bloating, pain. Yes? Okay. And then there is nausea. Like, what is nausea?
Vomiting as I feel.
That's vomiting sensation. You feel like you want to throw up. And then finally, sometimes you actually vomit. Right?
But some people do not eat and they went in car or bus. I feel like vomiting.
Yes, that's a very good question. So sometimes when you go in a car, that's called motion sickness. Yeah, you're in a moving object and then you feel like vomiting. That is because that they actually, at that moment, you don't have indigestion, but it's a chronic indigestion. That is, they've had indigestion for a very long period of time. And so their ras dhatu, you remember the 7 dhatus? So which is the first dhatu? Ras dhatu. So their ras dhatu is very weak. It is not well nourished. So they have weak ras dhatu and that is why they feel like vomiting. Everyone doesn't feel like vomiting, right? You may have a family of 4 or 5 people and 2 feel like vomiting and the other 3 don't feel like vomiting, isn't it? So the ones who have a weak ras dhatu, who have indigestion over a long period of time, they are the ones who will likely have this tendency. So then after that, what is there in the second line, the first diagram?
Gas.
What is that? Gas. So you pass gas from the rectum and then it makes a sound and sometimes, how does it smell?
Bad.
Very bad, yeah, because it's all undigested food and it's rotting, that because of the fermentation, there's gas. So obviously it has a bad smell. And then there's growling, there's sounds in the belly. And then what's the third image? What is he doing? Yeah, he's sitting on the toilet seat and he just has to sit forever. It's not coming. He feels like it's coming, but he has to just sit, strain, and it takes so long. And then his mother's calling, come on beta, come out, you have to go to school, come out. But no, wait, mommy, I'm still on the toilet seat. And then he has to sit for so long. Does that happen with you? No?
Yeah,
With anyone? Yes? Yeah, it happens. Once, yeah. So it happens. So that's when you have indigestion. It doesn't come. Did you see it was sticky? That ama in the colonoscopy, it was very sticky. So even though it's soft, it doesn't come out. Right? So that's because there's arm inside. Or sometimes you go to the toilet, you come out and then you're having breakfast and you say, Mommy, I want to go to the toilet again. Does that happen with you? Yes. So why does it not come out in the first place? Because it's sticky and it hasn't all come out. So you have to go again. Then the other one, what is the other one doing?
He is going again and again.
Yeah, he's going again and again. He has diarrhea. So he comes and he goes, He's having loose motions. Because see, the body is very intelligent. Right? As we discussed in the first slide, when the fire is there, you have hunger, correct? When the fire is low, do you have hunger?
No.
No. So the body is very intelligent. Why is it intelligent? Because aham vaishvanaro bhutva praninam deham ashrita. Because Lord Krishna is sitting within us in the form of the Vaishvanar Agni, right? So obviously he's intelligent. So the body is very intelligent and it knows when we should eat and when we should not eat. It gives us signals. But if we don't listen to that signal, the body is telling us, I'm not hungry, but no, let me eat one gulab jamun, right? So that means that we are not listening to the body's intelligence. So here, if the body is intelligent, so if there is some toxin inside, if there's some bad substance inside, you understand toxin? Toxin is like a poisonous substance which is harmful for the body. So now this, is it good for the body? No. So it's bad, right? So it's toxic. So the same way, when the food inside doesn't digest, it forms toxins. So are they good for the body? When the food is not digesting, there's indigestion, you're getting gas and it's all sour, acidity. Is it good for the body? So all those toxins should come out. The body is intelligent, it wants to throw it out because it's not useful for the body. So sometimes the body vomits, throws it out through the mouth, sometimes from behind, and then sometimes when there's diarrhea, so the body is throwing out from the lower end, correct? So then the other one is burping. You know what's burp? Thakar, yes. So you burp and then it some people do that. Have you heard them burp like that? Very loud burps. And when they burp, there's like all acidic, sour feeling here or bitter feeling, right? So that's again another sign of indigestion. Then sometimes you can have a bad taste in the mouth. It just feels bitter, or sometimes you can't really taste the food. When you eat it and you feel like, I can't taste it, like it's not the appropriate taste. So that inappropriate taste or bitter taste in the mouth is another sign of indigestion. That means because of the toxins, and then you brush your teeth and then you do some mouthwash, but still it doesn't go, that bad taste doesn't go. That's because of ama in the body. And then there's loss of appetite. So you see there's food in front of him, but he doesn't feel like eating. Sometimes you get that feeling sometimes?
Yes.
Right? They might be the best of things, but you just don't feel like eating. So because the body is so intelligent, so it's telling you that please don't eat because there's already toxin inside. So if you eat more, it's just going to create more toxin. So this ama, it's like a demon, it's like a rakshas. So he's not satisfied by just being inside the gut. You know what's the gut is?
No.
The gut means the gastrointestinal tract, the digestive system. So that's the gut, yes.
Ma'am, if we have hunger, we have to eat on time.
Yes. So ideally, whenever you're hungry, you should eat at that time because that time your Agni is strong. So you have a pot, right? And there's a strong Agni below it. If you don't put anything in the pot, what will happen? It'll burn. It'll burn. So similarly, when you have a strong appetite and you don't eat, you feel, oh, let me play, let me, finish my play. After 2 hours, I will eat.
Ma'am, but in school we cannot eat in
Yes. So you already have a break time, right, for meals. So that's the time to eat. So the fire won't burn you in 5 minutes. Will it burn you in 5 minutes?
If any people get hunger.
So the timing is such that you have something in the morning, right, before coming, and then you have a break at 10 o'clock, then you eat something, then at 1 o'clock you go back and eat. So that's plenty. So it's not possible that if you eat at 10 and you'll get hungry before 1. That means how many hours from 10 to 1? How many hours? 3 hours. So you can't digest the food in less than 3 hours. There was a Rakshas, who could digest his food in less than 3 hours, in 2 minutes. You know the name of that?
Kumbhakaran.
Who? Kumbhakaran, yeah, Kumbhakaran. Also Bakasur, right? Bakasur, he had a voracious appetite. He could just eat everything. So I don't think any of you are Bakasur. Any of you Bakasur? No. Okay. So this arm is like a demon. It's like a Rakshas. Did you have a question?
When we sometimes we are hungry, then we see food and we thought we don't have to eat.
Yeah, sometimes you look at the food and you feel, no, I shouldn't eat. That means the body is telling you that the previously eaten food is not yet digested. So then it's good not to eat at that time. So unless you have a strong appetite and the belly, the stomach feels light and your right nostril is open, then you should eat. But unless all these three conditions are present, you should not eat. Right?
Number 3 conditions are open, and if we don't like food, so what?
So if you don't like the food, but is the food good for you or not, you have to see that. If the food is healthy, it's nutritious and it is good for you, but you don't like it, so you have to choose between what is good for you and what you like. So some things may be good for you, but you don't like them. So what should you do? Should you eat them or not eat them? Eat them. But there may be foods that are not good for you, but you like them. Then what should you do?
No,
Not eat, right? Simple.
but some when people, any people get eaten, if that person do not like this one sabzi and he eats, he vomited.
Okay, so we did that yesterday. Remember, we said we should respect food. We should not. We should respect food. We should not waste it, and also we should not criticize food. So whatever is served to us, if it is good and healthy, we should eat it with respect because it's a form of God. So the mind, as I said, is very strong. It can trick you. So you feel like, I don't like it, I don't like it. And if you keep thinking of it like that, then when you eat it, you will vomit because the mind controls everything. We will see that now, how the mind controls the stomach and the intestine also. So you have to train the mind. It's all about training the mind. You have to develop self-control. You should know what is good for you and do that rather than doing what you like to do, but it's not good for you. So in life, you always have to make that choice. You might want to play, you might like to play, but you have exams coming up and you should be studying. So then what should you do? Study, right? So there are certain things which are good for you in the long run, but you may not want to do them now, but they should be done, right? Ama is like a demon. It's like a Rakshas, he's greedy and he wants to control everything. You know the Rakshas's story? Like they want to control everything. They are living in Patal, but they want to fight with the Devas also and they want to control Swarga also. So he is not satisfied by being in the intestine, causing vomiting, burping, farting, diarrhea, everything. He says, I want to conquer the whole body, right? He wants to get into the whole body. So what does he do? He from the intestine. Do you remember we saw that the food gets absorbed from the intestine and then it forms the ras dhatu, then the rakt dhatu, then mas, med, all the tissues, right? It provides nutrition to all the body tissues, to the muscles, to the bone, to the blood, brain. Now this arm, he gets into the circulation and he goes to all the tissues. So supposing he's in here and here, how will you feel? You feel good or will you feel discomfort? Will you feel pain? Pain, right? So when you get up in the morning, have you experienced sometimes you just feel like pain? You don't feel like getting up, and then when you look at this boy, he has a bag and you think he's looking energetic and enthusiastic. He wants to go to school? No. So you feel like that, and then sometimes you feel when you get up, your nose is blocked. Have you had that feeling?
Yeah.
When you get up, it's blocked, and after some time, it opens up. Right? Magic. So we learn how that happens. So and then sometimes it's not just blocked in the morning, but then you get a cold also, and you get fever, and then you say, I can't go to school today. Then sometimes you get things in the skin because now that arm has gone to your skin, to your nose, to your brain. When it goes to the brain, it makes you feel lethargic. And it's gone in your skin, then you get boils, you get pus. Sometimes it gets into the scalp, then you get dandruff, right? And then, what's that image? They're testing the blood. You know what? Any guesses? That's a glucometer. And many people have it at home. You know, when they're diabetic, they have a small machine at home, and they prick themselves, and then they can check what the blood sugar is. So that's a sign of diabetes. Then the next figure, what's that? What organ is that? Heart. And you see those red lines on the heart? They are the arteries. They are blood vessels, what do they have inside them? Blood. So they are supplying, so the heart is pumping and supplying blood to the whole body. But the heart also needs some blood, no? How will it get its nutrition? If it doesn't get any food, how will it work? So it has these tiny blood vessels which are supplying it blood for it to function. So that's a cross section of that blood vessel, that artery. And you see the first one is a normal artery. In the second one, do you see that yellow thing deposited? So that arm goes and deposits there. So if that artery, it's got blood inside. If the arm gets deposited and more and more and more, then what will happen?
It will close.
Yeah, it will get clogged. It will get blocked. So once it gets blocked, how will the blood flow to the heart? Will it flow?
No.
If the blood doesn't flow, supposing this blood vessels, right? And supposing I tie it very tightly, what will happen? And no blood goes inside. What will happen to my finger?
It will get cold.
It will get cold, it will get blue. And if I continue doing that, what will happen? 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It will finally die. Because if there's no blood flow, it will die. So if the heart muscle, the blood flow is obstructed and there's no flow going to the heart muscle which is contracting will die. And that's what's called a heart attack. Have you heard of heart attack?
Yes.
So what is the heart attack due to? Arm, yes. So the arm is really like a Rakshas. You think that arm is only in the stomach. Okay, I'll just vomit and I'll pass some gas. And then I'll have some acidity and it's okay. It's not okay because it's like a Rakshas. It's going inside your body, affecting all your organs. Have you seen people with joint swellings? They have swelling in the joints and they have pain. That's again because of arm. It goes into the kidney and it damages the kidney. Then you get kidney damage. It goes and blocks the arteries in the heart. You get a heart attack. Even cancer. So wherever the arm goes inside and sits there, it causes disease of that organ. So it is very dangerous. So, what did you understand in today's session? Anyone?
About arm.
What about arm?
If we have arm, we get this problems.
Yes, so the arm is the cause of disease. So when we prayed and we said Sarve Santu Niramayaha, right? So Amaya means disease. And what causes that disease? Arm. So from arm leads to disease. Ama and Amaya. So arm is causing disease, so Amaya is disease. And Niramaya is? What is Niramaya?
We have arm.
No disease. So you are healthy, right? That's how we want to be. So we pray that Sarve Santu Niramayaha. May everyone be healthy. Okay.